most of the assumptions have been over the many years of studying infections, and particularly the T cell response to infections, which is a part of your immune response. The assumption has been that we can make better vaccines if we understand how infections elicit T cell responses. And once we learn those rules, we can apply it to vaccine production. And what we've found, and what this paper documents, is actually the rules behind vaccination and making T cells by vaccination are actually considerably different than the rules that govern T cell responses to infections. I think the implications of the work that we've done now are, given our now understanding that T cells responding to a vaccination, a subunit vaccination, are built on very different metabolic principles. So what they use as fuel to govern their expansion and effector function or ability to fight off bacteria or cancer or virus, those rules are different than after an infection. And now that we understand those rules, we can utilize that for better vaccine production, specifically for ones that make very large T cell responses. And those are very useful and actually really necessary in today's immunotherapy against cancer and in chronic infectious diseases. One of the most interesting parts of the study was that it determined that unlike T cell responses to infections, the responses to a vaccination don't utilize glucose. They don't utilize a method of glucose metabolism that is conventionally used by T cells, and interestingly is also used by tumors. So in an immune response against a tumor, which we now understand through the world of immunotherapy is actually happening and can be augmented pretty dramatically, we know that the T cell and the tumor tend to be battling it out for glucose within the tumor. And what we found with our vaccination is that actually our vaccine-elicited responses don't really care as much about glucose. And as such, it makes sense that they would be very useful at fighting cancers. And we've actually got some interesting preliminary data that suggests that metabolism that they're utilizing is indeed helping them fight off the cancer more effectively and allows us to treat the cancer with drugs that block their metabolism but leave the T cells untouched and more effective at fighting the cancer.